Emerson College is an amazing liberal arts school that is known for their film, acting, and communications programs. Emerson also has outstanding programs that all tie back into liberal arts. It truly is an art school, as many of the students love theater, while others can dissect all aspects of film, and some can create masterpieces with just a camera handy. Students can explore their creative minds while at this school, and it is an amazing place to be. There is one aspect that is almost unheard of at this school, and it takes over the culture of so many other schools across the nation. What is that unspoken piece to Emerson College? Well, it's the Emerson Athletics, of course. See, a large part of the Emerson population truly doesn't care for athletics at all. Constantly, throughout the course of their lives, they focus primarily on the artistic side of the world more than anything. But there are a select few that grew up with a deep passion for sports, and even a smaller amount that took it upon themselves to further their sports careers in college. The overall theme of Emerson doesn't revolve around sports, unlike so many large universities do. It truly is hard to tell what these people were expecting coming to Emerson College, a small school only 3,757 students that are all interested in strictly liberal arts, where a majority of kids don't care for sports. The biggest question on people's minds is, what do these athletes think of their sports culture at Emerson?
The ideal culture would be having tons of support on campus, and I think it's really cool at big schools where game days are a huge deal. And obviously it's a little different in Emerson because we don't have a football team, we don't have a big stadium to go to. But it would just be cool to have bigger support for big volleyball games, big basketball games. I feel like people go to big soccer games and stuff, and I don't know, I think it'd be more fun to I think it's just it's not even about being an athlete and getting that support, but it's also so fun to come together as a school and that kind of thing. So I guess that would be my ideal culture, and the reality is more other athletes support athletes, and that's fun too, but no one else really knows that we're on campus. So
at Emerson, there's not really much of a sports culture. You walk on campus and you don't see anyone, you're that's a college athlete. It's very much just we're mixed in. It's Division III, so we all know we're here to play sports, but overall we're here for our education, and sports are a benefit that we have.
So another question has risen. Is there a clear divide between sports culture and traditional Emersonian culture?
Yeah, I think it definitely exists. I first remember it happening when I was a freshman, because only athletes only hung out with athletes, and I remember it was encouraged to only have athlete friends. And so when I branched out and joined Greek life and stuff, people were really surprised that I was when people in Greek life were really surprised that I was an athlete, and people in athletics were really surprised that I was in Greek life. So I think just noticing that my friends didn't really overlap was how I figured it out.
I feel sports teams are more of the minority in this case, and seem to be a bit more exclusive in the sense that they always hang out together, always eat together, and I think because there's not a big focus on athletics, that's kind of why athletes really stick together.
Truly, what caused the culture to be this way? What makes it so hard for Emerson to be so big on sports? These athletes give their insight as to what they feel drives this.
I think, in general, D3 athletes go to D3 colleges to focus more on their career than on their sports. So I think that plays a huge role, and I know that's one of the reasons why I looked at D3 was because I knew volleyball wasn't going to be my career path. So this was a place where I could really focus in on marketing and have all those opportunities, but still be challenged and still be in a competitive program. So I think it's that student then athlete priority and balance.
Well, just because the school is really a liberal arts school and it's focused on journalism, VMA, communications, there's not a huge appeal to the athletic scene, because we're not the most insane teams or the best. You don't come to Emerson because you want to be a professional athlete. You come for other reasons, and it's the people that love the game that end up playing.
Is there any possible way to integrate the athletic Emerson culture into the traditional Emersonian culture?
There's obvious raise awareness. Every time you have your Emerson athletics on, people are oh, you're on the team, and it's a chance you get to bring what you know about your sport and other sports to the table, and not only open up a conversation, but just see where the community's at and see what they know. And in any way or form, we can take that information and place it into outreach. Because I know the athletic department is trying to get students to come to our events, but when you have things like theater or visual media arts that are very much more dominant in the community and so much more advertised than our sports will ever be, it's a struggle, and it's not a competition because we're all here and we're all in the same school, but it's a conflict of interest because people are way more into that culture than they are into sports, and that's half the reason they came to Emerson, is because it's not a dominant thing, but we're still here, and we're still people that want to be supported, and it's no fun to go out and play your heart out and not have anyone there. So
Like, I mean, I think ECS or what, like, you know, whoever's running like the sports thing, like Matt Ulrich, or I know he does a lot of stuff, but like, I think all of that, like with the pie eating contest, and like we had like a t-shirt contest at our senior game or whatever our game was, but like, I think that stuff really helps. I think it's just getting people to know about it. I mean, like I said, like the college itself doesn't do a lot of promotion. Like we have sports pages and like Twitter pages for our individual sports and teams, but I think if Emerson College itself like sent out things about the sports, I think it would definitely get more fans going and get more people to know.
We don't do it for a crowd and like for the glory of it, so in that respect I'm fine with it, but on the other hand it would always be nice to have more support. And I think that it might seem scarier, like from an athlete's perspective, like I'm like, it's not intimidating at all, like we're not intimidating, we're just people, but I could see from the reverse, like being a student and being like a little bit intimidated to like walk into the gym or like walk over to Raj, but I think that's something that athletes can work on, just to like make everyone feel really welcome and really encourage everyone to come to the games. And also I think something that's really important is that not only do athletes encourage the support of, like encourage people to come to the games, but also it's important for athletes to show support for other programs, like to go to the dance company shows, to go to a theater production, because it's a two-way street. And so if athletes are constantly just saying, come to our game, but then don't actually reciprocate and go to the other organizations, then I think that sends the wrong message as well.
All these athletes desire is some support from their fellow classmates. So the general message here is to not allow the divide to persist. If you have any minimal interest in a sports game, check it out on the website, find the schedule, and support your alliance.